Bob. And but my question, and a lot of people's questions out there, there are other people that are certainly more cynical than me, is what in God's name are we going to do different now? Or are we going to have, more of the same stuff the next 4 years, the same basic formation, the same basic players? What do you see as some possible changes down the road that Bob may make that maybe will surprise some of us?
Well, I think fundamentally, I would go simply and say that I think that on a world stage, the US in the midfield area and up front have got the, if you like, I hate to use the word potential when it comes to the US because everybody thinks you're just saying, they're giving it the good old college try. I think we've got quite skilled players in midfield and and up front. I think it is at the back where the US is going to have to really concentrate and do something of make some changes. I don't think Jonathan Spector is good enough at this level. Cherondolo, I don't know how long he can go. Demerit, I have questions about. Oguchi Onyewu, I'm not so sure. He's not even playing at the club level.
Right.
Carlos Bocanegra, I think his best days are well behind him. But does it mean we don't have players to come through? Michael Parkhurst, Eric Lichaj, or whatever his name is, at Aston Villa, Clarence Goodson. There are people, and I know that there are others whose names I can't remember at this particular moment. Sure. I think, look, fundamentally, you've got your Landons, you've got Clint Dempsey, you've got Charlie Davies coming back, you've got Altidore. And I believe you've got, in Michael Bradley, yes, maybe there's some nepotism. Bradley, I think you have got, and listen to me carefully here, I think you've got one of the best box-to-box midfielders going anywhere in the world. I think he has got the real potential to be a great player and in defining a certain role. And he just happens to be American and sadly plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are not having the best of seasons. But I don't think the US is in bad shape at all. I really don't. I mean, I think it's important. I think this Gold Cup next year is as important a Gold Cup as I can remember, and they need to win it. But beyond that, when I look at the US right now, I don't think they're in terrible shape.
Yeah, I mean, I think both Brett and I feel the same way, that certainly the midfield is definitely our strongest point, and we're even adding to it. Hopefully, we will see Jermaine Jones here coming up. What do you think he'll add to the midfield, and are we going to see something different? Maybe even, Holden's been playing so well with Bolton. Is it possible we might see a Holden, Jermaine Jones center midfield?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, when you think about that, Stuart Holden, who just signed, I think he re-upped with Bolton this week. Yep. Jermaine Jones, who I think is going to bring a little bit better control, a little bit more pace. Michael Bradley, Maurice Adu. I mean, and I'll tell you, one of the other guys who I was surprised at the World Cup, who played well, and I didn't think he would, was Benny Failharper, who's been playing. I don't know where he's playing. I guess somewhere in
our house,
Denmark.
Yeah,
Denmark, right? Somewhere up in Scandinavia. Seemed to have got a bit Billy Big Boots for a little while when he was playing for Derby in the Premier League, and then sort of disappeared and went sort of club trotting or whatever. But I mean, I think he played very well. And at the end of the day, what they do in midfield, I think they are solid. And I want to see more of Torres. I want to see more of Hercules Gomez. I want to see there is talent. It's at the back where we've got problems, guys.
Right.
Yeah, we with their midfield for changes that it's been incredibly deep. With I think we're going to be seeing more Stuart Holden being groomed as the next Landon Donovan to an extent, where he's going to be utilized on the wing, because in my opinion, Stuart has one of the best set plays as far as accuracy goes, one of the best crosses. And he's capable of passing with the best of them. I have a feeling that with Landon coming up probably on most likely his last cycle, that Holden's probably going to start filling in that role for Landon, especially on the games like this coming up. These coming up two friendlies where Landon's not going to be here.
Right. Look, one of the things I think that the US can always use more of, and I don't think you see it enough. I've always complained I don't think the US is good enough in the air. That's number one. But also, you can never have, in my opinion, enough players who can get the ball at their feet, look up, and take players on, and that's what Stuart Holden brings to the table.
Yeah,
I mean, he brings the ability to, when we use that horrible cliche about get behind the defense. That's what Stuart Holden does. He's got the speed, the control, and the ability to get behind defenses and put in a decent cross. Sadly, you can put in as many crosses as you like. The U.S. isn't good enough in the air to really make a great deal of use of them.
Right. And I think maybe, I mean, we're seeing this more and more. I mean, just a year ago, Clint Dempsey was, he's a midfielder. We don't even think of putting him up front. Now, he's possibly the strongest player that we do have in the air, because you're right. You look at Altidore, you look at some of the other guys we played up front, not all of them have that ability in the air. Maybe Gomez at moments has shown that kind of flair, but you're right. We have no more Brian McBrides left.
Right, and by the way, Brian McBride will be on our show tomorrow.
Oh, you should definitely plug that. I think.
As will Morrison do.
I'm kind of wondering, because we have, as we've talked about, this problem at the defensive end. I mean, we're going to probably have to stick to Cherundolo, because it doesn't look like Spector's ready. He's begging to play in the reserve so he can stay fit for, call up here. And then you look at the fact that we've called up Gooch again, and Gooch can't even get a dress for AC Milan right now. And we talked about this the other week, Brett, but has Gooch, put himself in such a bad position now because he refused all the loan ideas that AC Milan had before this season started? Should he have taken those loans, or those possible loans?
Well, we'll find out, aren't we? I mean, if he continues to get picked, then his answer or his position would be no. But I'll be honest with you. I don't know how fit he is or how fit he isn't. Right. I think he's been tragically slow. I think his positioning is poor. And while I know it looks great when we see Oguchi Onyewu with AC Milan and blah blah, but he's never going to play. And remember, this is the guy who offered to pay them or to pay or to play for free. Mm-hmm. So and a couple of games that I've seen with Alessandro Nesta at the moment. I mean, Nesta has been schooled by some people, and the fact that Gooch can't even get on the substitutes bench is a real problem. Yep. And if that's the guy, the linchpin of one's defensive core, you've got some serious problems.
Yeah, and Brett, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, with the current roster that we have going to play these friendlies, I don't see Gooch starting, obviously, because I don't think he's going to be in form at all. I see Goodson and Bocanegra starting in the center, which is going to open up the left. And my guess would probably be Pearce. But I'm hoping that Lichaj continues to develop, and he's gotten some pretty high reviews in the games that he's played. And if he continues to develop, maybe he'll. In my opinion, I'd probably start him over Spector at the moment. But
I mean, except you would say at least Spector's playing, and he is not.
Right.
It's a question of how seriously do you take the issue of players who are playing and they have to play their way into the team? And this is a problem. Certainly with England, it's a problem where people get picked on reputation, and it does, and it hurts teams. And so, quite frankly, look, I don't even know what to tell you on that front, but I think that. In some ways, I would love to see this guy play his way back into shape, but I just don't see it.
What?